Hey guys, it's Michael Kelly here with Sales Tips, the Daily3. And again, this is a community. It's just a conversation about how we can get better with our sales and everything. 3 daily tips that'll help improve sales, which in turn will help increase our income, and that's what we're all here for. So I'm going to get right into it. Today's topic is going to be objections. Sorry for the light in the background. I'm trying a new light thing and it's a little crazy, but the content is what's important. So what we're talking about today is overcoming objections. I hate the theory of overcoming objections because it's more about solving problems for your prospect. Your goal is to create value for your prospect and solve problems for your prospect. It's not really an objection, it's a problem they have. And if you can solve that problem, then they will end up buying your product or service. So that's what we're talking about today, is how to solve those problems. The first thing is, I'm still going to use the terminology of objections because I'm a salesman and that's how we talk. But so to get started, number 1 of the daily 3 is find the objection. The most important part is finding the objection. How do you find the objection? You ask questions. You ask the right questions. And a lot of times we refer to these questions as leading questions. Like in our business, a lot of times we give guests a certain amount of time to travel, and a lot of our guests have a fear that they will not be able to use our product in the amount of time that we give them. So if you can ask them the question of, Mrs. Johnson, can you see yourself getting there in 6 months? And her response is no. Then you already know how to solve the problem. You know that you can come back with more time, which will make her feel more comfortable, which will add value to your product, and then therefore it will add value to her, and she'll feel more comfortable in buying your product because then she feels like she can use it and you overcome that fear for her. So don't confuse objections with interruptions, or don't confuse objections with somebody just saying like, I don't want to do this, I have no interest in this. Like, your job is to create the interest. Your job is to create value, and your job is to solve problems. So you need to think of that the entire time. So the first one is to find out the objection, not their excuse, but the real objection. And how you do that is by asking questions. These questions need to be leading questions that you already have the solution for. So make sure that when they come up with their objection to you, after you've asked the question, that you have a solution for them. And then if you can provide that solution, you'll end up getting the sale. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you need to break down the sales wall. A good way that I like to do this is I always ask the customer, Mr. Johnson, would you rather me talk to you as a salesman, or can I talk to you as person to person? That automatically breaks down the sales wall, and I don't care what they say in training. Guests do not want to be sold. They want value. They want something they can use. They want something that's going to help them in their lives. They want you to solve a problem for them. And if you can solve their problem and add value, chances are you're going to sell them. So understand that, and if you can grasp that concept and the theory behind it, then it will help you. It will help you tremendously, should I say. So as an example, like I said, use that question. A second example is to say, like if they say something like, I'm not interested. Guys, you cannot get combative or argumentative. You will not get the sale if you get in an argument with the guest. No sales have ever been made, or very few sales have ever been made after you got into an argument with the guest. So avoid that at all costs. Think about your tonality. think about the way that you're speaking to them, and make sure that it's not argumentative, it's being helpful. Now, some guests will take it as argumentative, but your job then is to cool them down with your tonality, your voice inflection, and sort of pump the brakes with them. So it's very important the way that you're speaking to these guests to make sure that you're not on opposite sides of them trying to sell them something, me versus you. We're together in this. I'm trying to figure out what you need so that I can provide it for you at the best cost or value so that we can do business together today. Third thing, most important thing, and I think this is very undervalued in what we do, is third-party stories. Sorry, I just got a notification. But third-party stories are very important, such as, hey, Mrs. Smith, I was just talking to Mr. Johnson earlier. He had bought one of our packages about 6-8 months ago, and he was on his way home from the actual vacation that I sold him, and he called me back so that he could buy another one. That right there is called, in sales, the Jones effect, which means the Jones are doing it, so I should do it. It's a proven theory that if you can use third-party stories, people will relate to them, and it will help you in the long run because then it's relatable to other people. And you can say, Mrs. Smith, I was just talking to a gentleman earlier. He had the same concerns that you have.